What's going on, Spider-Man fans? It's me, Yanni from Yanni's Nerdverse, and today we have something pretty cool to talk about as far as Spider-Man No Way Home is concerned. One of the concept artists for the movie today posted something very interesting. He said, I'm not allowed to release anything yet, but while I have you guys, I want to show you this artwork that I made for what might have been or might be in the future. And he posted online what he thinks it would look like if Tom Holland had a symbiote suit. And wow, this looks cool. So there are 4 images, and they all look great. So the first one is like a nice up-close image of Tom Holland, and you can just see the symbiote on him without the mask. And first of all, I love this suit. I think we can all assume that most likely what's going to happen that in Spider-Man 4, he's going to get the symbiote. Now, whether or not it's going to be during the events of that movie or at the very end or a post-credit scene, we really don't know, but I imagine it's going to be by the time Spider-Man 5 comes out, because of course, a whole new trilogy is on its way. But he's going to get the suit very soon. And if it looks like that, I would be super, super excited. And it could be. I mean, especially if they use the same concept artist and he's a part of the project, it's very likely. But with just talking about the specifics of this suit, it's great because, one, it does integrate the whole Venom design they have currently from the Sony universe. It has those white veins going around the entire body, which isn't normally seen in the original comics. He originally just had a nice, sleek black suit and the white emblem, and it was very bright and it stood out a lot. But this one, it integrates sort of both of those ideas. And something that I love about this, though, is that if you look at his hands, on top of them, there's a white triangle, and that was something that's always in the comics, so it's a nice little nod to them as well. One of those details that normally is ignored when you do something in live action, but I'm glad he included it on the concept art at least. And it looks great. I gotta admit, I love on his face. You can see the black, symbiote going over his face. It looks like black veins. It was actually just a symbiote crawling over him. It looks awesome. And even with the mask, it does still look great. He kept on the actual lenses of the typical MCU suit, and here you can even still see those white veins going across his face. It looks awesome. It looks very gritty, very dark, and I love it a lot. And like I said, this suit is very similar in sense to the Venom suit we've seen in the Sony Venom movies. But I was talking to one of my buddies, and he is not big into all the comics, but he just likes the movies, and he was saying, this one isn't my favorite because it doesn't look as real. And first of all, this is just an image, but he was explaining how he likes it more in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 because it looked like an actual physical suit. And this is just a question to you guys, which do you prefer? Because I gotta say, I 110% like this concept art more. I love when it looks like it's attached to his skin. It's very fluid. It looks like it's fully a part of him versus a normal suit. But really, everything about this is awesome. Even looking at the white emblem, it's something that's so simple, but it can be messed up, I think. I think we've had a lot of Spider-Man designs that try to be different with it, and it looks weird, but this looks perfect. And just the symbiote over his entire body looks great, just from top to bottom. And honestly, I'm really hoping that this is what it looks like. And the thing with concept art is that most of the time, it looks amazing. Sometimes it actually looks worse than what we've gotten, very rarely, but usually it's even better than the movies because there's some stuff you can't do with CGI yet, some things aren't practical to do. But this looks great, and honestly, if it looks anything like this in the movie, I would be so happy. But is it going to look like this in that final movie? Maybe, maybe not. I do think it would be really cool if they stuck with incorporating those white veins that are going over the black symbiote because of the whole Venom thing. Because we know this symbiote in particular that Peter Parker or Tom Holland is going to be wearing is either a spawn of or is part of the symbiote that Tom Hardy's Venom from the Sonyverse wore himself. It got stuck here because he got sent back, and everyone by now has seen the post-credit scene for Spider-Man No Way Home. If you haven't, I'm sure you can look it up online, or what am I talking about? The movie is almost made $2 billion. You've for sure seen it. And even though it's just concept art, just seeing Peter with the mask off and just the veins over his body, and he looks sort of corrupted, I can only imagine what great scenes we're going to have. One of the things I'm more precautious about going into the future of Spider-Man is that I don't want him to have a black symbiote suit yet because they are going to do the thing where the black symbiote makes you angrier, it makes you meaner, it brings out these violent tendencies in Peter. And if they do that, it doesn't make that much sense to do it right now because Peter doesn't have any connections. No one knows who he is. So if he got that at the beginning of the movie when he has no friends, just no one even knows who he is, it wouldn't make any sense. So that's why I think it would be better if the black suit was saved for Spider-Man 5, when maybe in Spider-Man 4, he meets Harry, he meets Gwen, he, even befriends Dr. Connors in college, or who knows what. As long as he has people that he cares about that he can act out towards and have that sort of like violent reaction, him realizing, oh my god, I'm being corrupted by this symbiote. I would just really love one of these deep scenes when like the symbiote's crawling all over him and he's just terrified. It would be great. Tom Holland actually is a great actor, and I think in No Way Home in particular, we did see him like just really go above and beyond with his acting abilities, and I just cannot wait to see what sort of stuff they do with the symbiote. But that's it. It's really pretty much a short video. I just want to showcase this really cool concept art and ask you guys which sort of suit you prefer, to have the more like practical, real looking suit like in Spider-Man 3, or if you prefer the sort of liquid, fluid, like skin attached suit that we have in this sort of concept art. Let me know in the comments what you think. And I'm going to be covering more of Spider-Man No Way Home on this channel and all things Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. I also post every day on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, which you're already on now. I'm going to do Twitch streaming. You know all the things, all the plugs, and all that stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.